The charges which Housand is facing are both serious and deplorable.
No shit, Sherlock. It's obviously your fault.
Brian Housand was arrested in Nassau County last week. He's accused of armed kidnapping, stalking, and writing death threats.
According to police, he sent multiple threatening messages to an ex and even showed up at her home in uniform with a service weapon and threatened to kill her.
Scum always rises to the top. The reason why is because good people, normal, regular people, are not interested in raping and plundering. Most people are just human and want to be left alone.
Housand wasn't found culpable in any of the complaints before 2022, which included allegations of unnecessary force, unbecoming conduct, failure to take appropriate action, bias, mishandling evidence, failure to conform to work standards, and improper action.
Governments do not operate the way you think they do. Banks do not do what you think they do. The police department is not here for what you think it is.
Looking to file a complaint against an officer.
Okay, what's going on?
It was at the 61st precinct, I would say Monday.
When I say it's all cops, I mean it. I mean it. Because we allow the most untrained, unbelievably violent.
But we can't see any more details on those investigations because JSO says, in accordance with state law, they purge records where no wrongdoing was found after 1 year.
Any problem, if you don't know how the problem started, you don't, who was it? Albert Einstein said that you can't depend on the same people who caused the problem to fix it.
Here we are today looking at life felony charges against this man. And you would want to kind of go back and look and see where his history's been, just to get a full picture.
Remember, the old Prussians have always said, an officer is only as good as the soldier who serves him.
In 2022, Housand received a written reprimand for suggesting during a deposition that a correctional officer involved in the DUI arrest of another correctional officer tried to cover for their colleague.
They view the blue stripe as a dividing line between us and them, between those who are privileged to operate above the law and those who will be pummeled to the ground by the law.
With Housand saying, "No, it doesn't surprise me. You always look out after your family and your friends."
That's shocking. That is absolutely unacceptable. That means you are a failure at your job.
Correctamundo.
And in 2023, Housand was investigated again after a colleague reported he made comments that could be construed as racist, sexist, and homophobic while he was at a JSO training facility. Although he did receive a written reprimand for speaking disparagingly about two colleagues who were lesbians.
90% of the time, I have no idea what they're talking about.
Multiple people testified Housand used a foul term to describe them during a rant. And one JSO employee testified Housand spoke about how he and another man should kill those colleagues who are gay.
So, as you point out, characteristic of law enforcement officials when something goes wrong. We find that there's long history of having identified and noticed the threat and doing nothing about it. Bystanders, people, civilians are more attuned to potential threats.
He said his statements were very serious and not a joke because Housand never laughed.
You know what? Is it a crime to care about your job?
Yeah, well, it isn't what they are.
Where did you get your diversity and sensitivity training, huh? The Stasi?
Did you have to act so mean? Don't you know you're